Another week, another nickel. You know, hey everyone, JSD Cool here, and welcome to another live stream on Coolcraft here. And hello, once again we are doing more road building here. Also, I have a great shirt that is apparently close enough to the green screen color for OBS to start keying that out. So that's great. Yeah, so, a couple things, I guess, happened in the past week, and, besides that, I guess we can get going here on the roads. So, last week we finished off the roads over this way, I believe. Then on Sunday, came over and started digging out the location for some of the roads over this way. There's a little bit more over that way that has to be done, but I'm not too worried about that right now. So yeah, to start with, we're going to get started by putting in the glowstone, as we kind of did for the roads over this way, and we have a lot of it, so this will be a good, this. Whoa. Oh, lag, okay. Just give it a second. This here is a big schematic. Alright. Alright, there we go. So, let's get into some of this content. Wow, that's perfectly the position of the stone there. So, I guess we can, let's start talking about stuff. So, obviously, since the last live stream I did, there's also this, which I guess needs to be excavated. Whoops. Anyway, so since the last live stream I did, rain. Thunder, no less, actually, so we're just gonna go see that way. But yes, the GTA 6 first trailer released. Since the last time I did a live stream, which, you know, always exciting stuff. Of course, it released early because somehow the trailer itself leaked. Somehow, don't know if they ripped it from YouTube or Rockstar got hacked again, but it leaked early, and someone was advertising their crypto scam on it, so they decided to just release it like 15 hours early or something like that. So that was exciting, I guess. We got that early. And, you know, it looks, at least from what we can tell, quite impressive. However, I will say about the looks, one, this is, you know, a trailer made specifically for viewing enjoyment, so they may have taken some optimization liberties that would not necessarily exist in the actual game. And also, I will remind you that when it launches, it's only launching on console. So it's not going to look that good, because the consoles are probably not powerful enough to do all of that. And I think it's stupid that it's launching on only consoles to start with, because one, there's a lot of people who'd be willing to pay you on the PC side of things. And two, you're building this on computers. You're running this and probably capturing this footage on a computer and not on a console. So it doesn't make sense that you're artificially limiting this thing to only consoles. Unless, of course, there is some secret deals with Microsoft and Sony to only release it on consoles so that the consoles get more sales or whatever. Which is really dumb. And also, I feel that is terrible, terrible, terrible. And they should be taught a lesson for doing this. And also, it's 2023. Who the fuck released the game, which is obviously gonna be on PC at some point, only on consoles first? The platform that definitely won't be able to run the game at full performance. And full quality. And everything. Any reason you give is potentially very dumb. As to why they would do this. It's like, oh, if you're saying, oh, because, you know, piracy, it's going to get pirated if it's on computer. I'm like, okay, yeah, it will probably be pirated faster if it's available for PC. But there are reasonably good DRMs. Obviously, they won't completely prevent something like GTA from being cracked. There's obviously going to be a lot of people who want to crack GTA because it's going to be that big a game. But the problem with this is that if you put it only on console to start with, you're suddenly painting a target on those consoles, because there's going to be a lot more people who are now motivated to try to get it off those consoles and then onto PC, especially the Xbox, because while the Xbox does have insane security stuff, like literally just virtualizing all the games in a sort of virtual machine type sense, it's also very similar to Windows. Obviously, there are some Xbox games that just run on Windows via Game Pass or something like that. So it would be the most obvious target of an attack, and once someone gets the files, however they decide to do it, once someone gets those files on Windows, it's going to be, well, piracy. They might inject their own malware into it, but you're going to lose sales from that. And also, I mean, it's probably these, I mean, let's be real, it's probably these deals with Microsoft and Sony to release it on their consoles, because there are idiots, I don't know how better to phrase it, but who will go out and buy a console just to be able to play GTA 6 on launch day, which I feel is really dumb, because the game is going to cost like $70, $80 or something like that. Because obviously, AAA game, probably most expensive game to ever be made, releasing in 2024 at some point. 2025, whoops. It is 2025, right? You know, that's a while away. Yeah, it's... Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. But yeah, it's gonna, yeah, it's gonna cost around like $70, $80. There's no doubt in my mind about that. But if you're buying a console just to play this, that console is gonna be like $300 to $500. I don't know what consoles cost these days because I don't use consoles. I use PC. But yeah, that means that you're actually going to be paying like $500, $600 just for a single game, and especially with my problem, one, I don't have money to spend on a console like that. That's first off. And the second off reason why I wouldn't do that, besides that, is because, like, there at this point is no other game on a console that I would want to buy and play, because, like, mind you don't just get other games for free, you have to pay for other games as well, and, you know, back in the day when I did play on consoles, because I didn't have a PC, you know, that was fine. You know, I got the console by buying it or whatever, and then, you know, we got games for birthday and bought games, all that sort of stuff. But now it's just, like, all the games I play / want to play are on PC. I already have a PC and all my games, which I can all play on my PC. It's not like other older games, which I'd have to get out a different device to play. It's all here on my... Ah! Okay. I did not know this was here. So yeah, it, again, just does not make much sense to buy a console for this. So if you plan to buy a console only to play GTA 6, and you're not like a streamer or someone who will be able to make money off of that, then I'm sorry, it just does not make sense. You're an idiot for doing that. But anyhow, now that we're off the disgusting part, yes, I mean, as I would have hoped you would have expected by now, the game looks amazing, because of course it does. You're waiting this long and you got 2023 level technology. You're gonna be able to make stuff look incredibly good, packed with NPCs, like those beach scenes. Right? With that sheer number of NPCs. Like if you go to the beach in GTA 5 right now, even during the middle of the day, there's hardly anyone standing around, right? Especially compared to those shots in GTA 6. It's like, yeah, that's a lot better. It also just, a lot of this stuff also just looks really good. Like some scenes actually look like photorealistic renders of real life with like GTA cars put into them. Because like the scenery looks just, or you know, like the terrain, I guess, in scenery just looks that good. And then you got like those obviously fake GTA cars like in the foreground. It's like, it looks like you kind of just took a picture and photoshopped a car from GTA, and the lighting is so much flatter. And mind you, it still is really good lighting off the cars, but it's so much flatter on the GTA cars than on the like world around it. But yeah, it's a very very big. Like apparently, the map is going to be all of Florida or most of Florida, and not just around like the Miami area, which is pretty interesting. Does that mean we're going to get a rocket launch area simulating Kennedy Space Center in GTA? We might. Or might not, I don't know. They'd probably have to, in order to include something like that, they'd probably need to have a reason to include something like that in the story, which some sort of doomsday heist situation is all I could really think about there, where you get like an apocalypse if they're gonna launch a, oh, that's a creeper, okay. They're gonna be launching nukes into space or something like that. I mean, it really would be a cool scenery, but in order for it to exist, it realistically would have to have, like, an entire area of the map would have to have some sort of relevance to the story at some point. Not just because it's cool. But for the shots they did show, like, they're building, you know, the whole thing. They're building the Everglades, they're building the Keys, and actually, I remember that one shot that they showed basically of, like, the Keys with the bridges there is actually, like, a real place. Like, I actually went on Google Maps to find it, and it was surprisingly exact to the IRL location, like... This cave here is kind of annoying. Whoops. Yeah, anyhow, so like the shot they showed with the 2 road bridges, and then there looks like a broken bridge off to the side. Looking at that, you might think, okay, what's the lore behind this other bridge? What's going on here? Well, there is no lore behind it, because that is a real-life location where there is really another bridge with 2, which is broken closer to the shore on both ends, that connects those 2 islands. Now, obviously, the highway doesn't sharply curve back towards the north at the end of that island. It's way far off from the mainland, so it just kind of keeps going. It does curve north, but not nearly as much. But I just kind of went on Google Maps and pretty easily found it just by scanning along the Keys, which, to be fair, that's not too hard to do. It is a straight line. But yeah, that was a pretty cool thing for me to notice. It does also feel like there's a much heavier focus on social media. I mean, as you'd kind of expect, right? Social media wasn't nearly as big in 2013 when GTA 5 came out versus GTA 6 coming out. Well, social media is definitely a thing. It looks like TikTok is mostly what they're... TikTok, maybe Instagram is what they're going to be riffing on. No Life Invader, unfortunately, but you know. The world moves on, I guess. And with a Jay Norris not being in the picture anymore, I guess Life Invader just kind of faded out of existence or something like that. I don't know. Anyway. Damn, the air in here has gotten dry, I'm noticing. Gosh, the weather recently has been absolutely crazy. Like, it was snowing basically all day yesterday. And there was, you know, a decent amount of snow on the ground when I went to bed at like 2 a.m. last night. Which admittedly is a bit late to go to bed, but when I woke up around noon today, there was no snow on the ground at all. It had all completely melted overnight. Which is crazy. I mean, I guess that's December weather, but it still surprises me every time it happens. Like, what? How? That can happen. Oh yeah, I also gotta, I guess, do the dashes in the center of the road. I guess I'll go do those now. Which I guess, first off involves... Oop, I let go of the wrong button there. Okay. Now we know where that starts. It's pretty easy to... I guess this whole road does need to be excavated. We're putting stone in here eventually. So that'll be fine to excavate this whole thing and then just place the glowstone in. Oh yeah, yeah. So wondering if Tyler's going to come back and start putting emojis in chat. Again, that was an interesting thing last stream. Looked at some of them afterwards and I'm like, really? Wow, yeah, Minecraft did a terrible job with that. But I guess that's the game, right? You do terrible approximations of emojis. I mean, I guess it's pixel art. What can you do? But clearly they could have done better, or some of them. Like the Statue of Liability. Did kind of look like a chicken with how they made it. Emoji in Discord is really weird though, so... Oh yeah, speaking of Discord, their new terrible UI update, which is more than just an offense... Which is more than just their icons being offensive to my eyes on desktop, but is also mobile, where it now sucks. Like, they completely changed how things work on mobile, which is kind of a pain, and it's no longer, like, the same as desktop. It felt, I mean, recently, I guess, it has felt a bit different than desktop, but now, especially, it is completely different than how desktop is, which is terrible. When DMs are not, like, in your serverless anymore, they're a whole separate tab on the bottom, which, considering I primarily use Discord on a computer, is just terrible. Because it's not where I'm used to at all going to get my notification, or to go to what are effectively other channels. They also did other things that screw with it no longer being like the desktop version, where if you want to view the members list of a channel, instead of like going to the side or swiping to the side when you're in the channel, you instead gotta like tap on the channel name when you're in the channel. Mind you, if you want to go back to the list of channels, you still swipe to the side to get to that. But to get to the people who are in this channel, you gotta press in a different place. You can't swipe to get to it anymore, which is incredibly annoying. If you want to see who's online, who's playing what on mobile. I mean, apparently their old app was kind of a pain in the ass to do anything with, because he was, you know, like a rush job when making it, and it was like, oh, well, we kind of... And they kept hodgepodging things on. So I understand rewriting it, but you didn't have to change its look. And then they changed a bunch of the icons on desktop. Like, some of them I can't tell that they changed. It's like, okay, you barely changed that at all. Why'd you change it? And none of them look downright stupid. Like, the deafen and mute icons now just look dumb. It's just like, no. The old ones were good. You didn't need to change these things. It's like... Did you not at all consider what people would think of this? Why you gotta change stuff like this? Especially these drastic changes. I hate change! Oh boy. Oh yeah. Another little bit of important programming information. For you guys, for anyone who may be possibly watching. Well, no one's watching live right now. So anyone in the VOD who wants to catch a future stream, this weekend is probably going to be the last regularly scheduled stream for, at least in terms of schedules, for about a month until the spring semester starts, as the fall semester is just about over here. We just got finals left, and then I'll be gone to home, and I don't know what my live streaming is going to look like there, because while I can live stream, and given that I'm using only about 6,000 megabytes per second right now, definitely, and for this stream quality as well, it definitely would be possible for me to stream from home. But mind you, I'm not the only one using bandwidth at that point. Anyone else using the network, including the server itself, could also be implicated in that bandwidth usage. Or subject to that bandwidth usage, which kind of sucks. So, yeah, there's that. We also got a... Oh, also, therefore, there also might not be, depending on how things go, maybe there will be, maybe there won't be an episode next week. I'm not entirely sure on what I'm doing with that yet. Mind you, I haven't finished this week's episode yet, which I gotta do that. Edit it. Actually, at least I gotta start editing today. I think I'm mostly done. I gotta record a couple more things, but I think I'm mostly done finally. To be fair, I didn't do anything for most of the week because, I don't know, I was busy doing other stuff. But yeah, that's what's going on programming-wise on this channel for the next little while. Okay, on Sunday, the Sunday stream, I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing for that yet. I could be doing more road building here, it depends. Maybe if Jerry Cool joins me, I will probably do that. But if not, okay, there's a cave here. If I'm not doing a road building stream, what I'm probably going to end up doing is... I'm probably going to end up actually working on my game in a live stream, which is something I haven't done before. I planned to do it a long time ago, but just never did. But yeah, that'll be interesting. It'll be a bit, bits of spoilers for the actual... Well, okay, the next update isn't going to be too spoiled since it's a minor update, but I'm getting more and more ideas for what to do in the next major update. Mind you, not really ideas for the levels themselves, just kind of like what I could add. I should start thinking of... I mean, all these ideas are just kind of naturally coming to me. It's like, okay, I could do it like that. Okay, I should do that and that. But then I'm not getting the ideas of like, oh, right, that's that. Also, what's... So, actually, as of the state of the game right now, I think I could probably... Realistically, I could get this patch out that I'm working on in like a week if I actually tried. But once again, I'm waiting on Tyler to do more audio stuff for me. Because I have audio plans in the game. Or, well, realistically, I just needed to remake the level complete sound. That's all I really want for this patch because, well, wouldn't you know it, what I currently have, I made, and it's terrible. But he's busy doing not cool craft stuff, so I don't know. It's kind of up in the air how long it'll take him to. Hopefully, maybe over Christmas he can get doing some audio stuff. Maybe. Hopefully, I guess. Anyhow, that's what's going on in my game. Alright, let's see. I do not know what to talk about next. And off stream, I'm always like, oh yeah, ooh, I got so much stuff to talk about, I could probably go for a while and stuff, and then I actually get to stream and I'm like, what do I talk about? I actually do not know anymore. What am I supposed to be talking about right now? I did a fair amount of talking just then, so... What? Oh, this is the intersection. Okay, it's like... What's going on here? Why is it different? Well, apparently there's a reason. Let's see. Back down to the other end. Alright, we're making... Oh, I mean, we're just placing a ballista, but we're making quite fast progress. It's been 25 minutes already. Damn, 20 minutes. Well, you've already been live for a decent chunk of time. Mind you, I was a tad bit late to the stream today, but I don't know. That was actually pretty on time. Just doing other things, time slips away from me a little bit, and then I get bored and do on other things. And I just, oh damn, it's time to stream. Ooh. Let's see. Anything I should talk about here? Well. Yeah, I don't really have anything to talk about, which is a shame. I love talking about stuff sometimes. Well, actually, okay. Guess I could talk about something that I was trying to do, actually yesterday. It's kind of part of the reason why I didn't actually make progress on the episode, because I was screwing around trying to do other stuff. So, I was trying to get some native code to run in Java, because in Java you can run native code. There is an interface system for running native code in Java, which is pretty cool. You can compile code in like C, C++. Currently, I guess that's mostly the only supported languages. Although in theory, I guess you could use Rust as well if you could figure out how to get the correct object handles or type handles in for that. But I was trying to get some native code stuff to work because there's some stuff from some simple libraries that exist in C++ or C++, that Java doesn't necessarily have any direct equivalent to, because it uses like operating specific libraries. So like, or operating specific library features, which are, you know, like directly built in parts of the library. So like doing fun stuff like setting the title of the terminal that you're in, which you can do via like system libraries in C, C++, but Java does not, at least immediately or easily, have anything for that without, I guess, writing native code to interface with that stuff. So I was trying to do a bunch of stuff like that. Took me a while to actually get something for some reason to work on Windows, and I don't remember what the reason was. It was probably just me not properly setting the library path variable. And once I did that, it just worked. Which was great. I could, as long as I could actually compile stuff correctly and do stuff, I could get it to work. And I was like, okay, well, this code is theoretically cross-platform compatible to compile. Obviously, I don't currently have the binary version of this code for other operating systems. So it's like, okay, I'll go start exporting and testing this on other operating systems. Dang it. Which is great. However, I kind of ran into an issue on, well, actually, so I started on trying to go for Linux, because, obviously I was on Windows first, and then I started to try to put it on Linux. And I started running into an issue. Well, partially it's the same issue and partially it's a different issue, but that is just not finding the library, or Java's just not able to find the native code, despite the fact that I put it there, it's in the right format, or it's, the file's named correctly, has the correct extension, all that sort of other stuff. That's all there, but it's just not working for some reason. And I couldn't figure out why. I eventually figured out that at least part of my issue was that I wasn't compiling the code correctly in Linux, because I was hodgepodging a couple compiler commands together to do it in one step, and I left a flag in the compile command that shouldn't have been there. So instead of properly generating the actual library, it was generating an object file that's like the pre-link stage, so like halfway between your code, well, like 80% of the way between your code and actual native assembly, I guess, but not quite there. So it obviously can't be run, and obviously then Java was unable to read that. When I figured that out, I was able to, when directly telling it specifically the file to use, I was able to get it to load the library, and it functioned mostly properly. There was one section that for some reason didn't work, but when it was like used through a different method, it did work. I don't understand how that worked, or what's going on with that, but I didn't really want to try troubleshooting at the time, as I was trying to get the stuff to just generally work on all platforms, So the default, or I guess the preferred method in Java of loading native libraries is you just give it a name, or the name of the library, and Java itself will find it based off whatever the library path is, a file with that specific name and extension. But Java is, for some reason, on Linux. No matter what I do, the file's in the library path. It's in potential possible subfolders for the library path. It's named correctly. It's not being loaded. Like, no matter what I do. And I can't figure it out. If I specifically, again, directly tell it, load this file, it will do it. And it works. But it's only when it doesn't do it that it has issues. And I cannot figure out why. I mean, a potential workaround is, I've even tried asking AIs, and they didn't really give me any useful information. They just gave me basic troubleshooting steps. But I guess a potential solution could be to just actually write code, or have Java write code to do it myself to find it and then feed in the proper path, but I'd have to do a lot of conditional stuff like check to make sure that you're on Linux, because on Windows it'll work just fine with the library path shit. And I really don't want to do that, but if it wants to be a platform-specific bitch, I guess I have to write platform-specific Java code to deal with that. I don't know, maybe. And I also haven't tested on macOS, because if that's exactly the same issues on macOS, then why is Windows better than that? Linux is the operating system that's usually better for development and stuff. Why is Windows the one that's being less terrible? But also in this journey, I decided to try checking out the Microsoft's Visual Studio C compiler, or C++ compiler, because that is like the official Windows C compiler. Obviously there are other ones which I have been using because they're actually named G++ and not Microsoft stuff. And they're also open source third-party stuff versus Microsoft stuff. But, I mean, the general downside to these third-party compilers is especially if you're compiling an executable with them, they all of a sudden need a specific DLL that comes with the compiler in order for them to actually run, which is kind of... What am I doing? Like, actually, what am I doing? They need a specific DLL that comes with the compiler to run, which obviously if you have the compiler and you have it on the path correctly, you have the DLL and it'll run just fine, but you distribute if you can't. So being able to compile with the Microsoft's Visual Studio compiler obviously should have the advantage of you don't need to distribute random ass DLLs with your program in order for people to run it. Although you may need to tell them to install Visual C++ redistributable packages, but that's probably a bit easier than say, hey, here's a DLL that I'm sending you as well. You gotta have this in the same folder and fuck off. So anyhow, I was trying to use it and it took me a while to figure out how to actually use it because it's not, the actual executable isn't called G++ or GCC like everywhere else it is. It's called CL. Or is it CI? CL or CI is the actual name of the executable. But you don't just run this from any ordinary command prompt or PowerShell, no. There's like a fancy version, or I guess a batch script that you run from Visual Studio where you can that actually gives you access to run this compiler command. You can run other commands as well, but it's that as well. And because it's fancy Microsoft Windows shit, it doesn't use the normal command line flags where you put like a dash in front of all the parameters and stuff. While I believe it does understand those general stuff, so if you're using like a -I for the input file, it also will recognize -O, but it'll yell at you that hey, that's deprecated because they want you to use their own things. No. They use the forward slash, or one of the slashes, I don't know which one. They use a slash and then the flag because it's Windows, guys. And we gotta do things differently here. Which is kind of annoying, because that makes the compiler command completely incompatible between different operating systems. I mean, there are operating-specific differences, to be fair, with compilers as is. But damn. That's a pain. Oh yeah, there's also something else very infuriating about Microsoft's compiler that kind of broke something that I was trying to test with it. The word short. Not short. Yeah, short. Or not short. Small. That's it. The word small is effectively a reserved word in Microsoft's compiler. Now, it isn't fully a reserved word. Like, it's not, the compiler defines it itself as a keyword. Rather, in one of the header script, or one of the headers that is by default included by the Microsoft compiler, there is a definition for the word small as char for some reason, which means you can't name a variable anywhere in your code, or I guess a function or anything, small, because that'll be redefined immediately to char, and then when it compiles, it'll be like, int char is not valid. It's like, what are you talking about? It's int small, not int char. Well, yeah, apparently, I don't remember what this... Okay, I looked it up online. This torch doesn't need to be here. Oh, there was... / is a library that is, I guess, included in Microsoft stuff. It's pretty old and outdated, I think. that defined like small, medium, large, and I don't remember what this library did, but it sounded familiar to me. But obviously, if you're not using it, you're not getting this thing. You shouldn't have this thing defined. But with Microsoft-specific compiler, it's always defined, and therefore you can't call things small. So if you have any programs that you're trying to compiler with it, it will be referenced as small, or it will. You can't use the word small as a variable or anything. And then a whole lot of developers screamed in agony because. Really, Microsoft? What the hell? Oh, skeleton. That is actually a really dumb decision to make. It also just makes your compiler infinitely more incompatible with other people's code, which I don't think you'll want. And also with Microsoft not explicitly calling the compiler, you know, G++ or C++ or whatever. It's kind of weird because like even Apple calls their C compiler or their C++ compiler G++. It is, of course, Apple's terrible version of C++ that has all some weird Apple things, but you can get like I guess open source macOS compilers. But yeah, anyway, that's a little adventure that I was on recently. By recently, I mean like the other day. That was very descriptive, thank you. I need more food. Oh, that's a lot of glowstone that we've so far laid down. Hopefully I don't need to get more food during the stream. That would spoil some stuff from the episode. I could go down the hill. I guess I'll have to go down this hill. And then I'm gonna go the other direction. Oh, there's a zombie nearby. Whee! Anyhow. Oh god. Oh god, the zombies are so fucking loud. This grass is also kind of annoying. Damn. Stupid grass. Alright. There we go. No more grass there. Alright. Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. You put a piece of glowstone underneath a solid block. That makes a lot of sense. But hey, the schematic calls for it, so I guess we must do it. The schematic is the boss. The schematic is the boss. The schematic is the boss. And other stuff like that. Alright. Shut up, zombie. No one likes you. You're annoying. Very, very annoying. Oh, and I missed a little bit there. Oh well. And quick. Alright, not too worried about the terrain right now. because that's not what I'm building right now. The road itself will come later once we've got all the glowstone. And hey, maybe other people will join me, or maybe not. Probably not actually, because no one ever joins me for these live streams. I mean, Jared Cool could. He doesn't actually have anything interesting going on right now. He just doesn't for reasons, I guess. Ah! Okay. Oh, hey, I got a notification. Okay. That notification was nothing interesting. Sometimes my phone gives me accurate, up-to-date, on-time notifications, and other times it doesn't. It notifies me after I go looking at it. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, thing happened. Like with the GTA 6 trailer come out. Because, you know, I set the notification on, I got the YouTube notification set on my phone. And, wait, what was I doing? What was I doing when it happened? I was doing something, and I don't remember what it was. Alright, I was preparing for a test in a class. Mind you, not the final. The final is this week. So yeah, yay, finals! Anyway, I was preparing for a test, and, Jared Cool actually told me that the trailer released. I was like, what? And I turned on my phone, and after I turned on my phone, that's when I got the notification saying, hey, this video has come out. It's like, why? I told you to notify me, and I meant when it came out. I mean, at least, I guess, it didn't come out, like, the minute I wake up, or my alarm goes off in the morning, right? Like I said last stream, I said, oh yeah, it'll come out at like 9 a.m., like, at the time that I get up. I mean, that is when I got up, but I'm glad I didn't have to, like, I mean, it would have been a Tuesday anyway, but, like, rush to go open YouTube and start watching the trailer, which was only like a minute long, so I probably would have easily missed it. Or missed the premiere at least. And I missed the premiere anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I have a class. Early ass mornings on Tuesdays. By early, I mean it's 10 a.m. and I hate getting up, so that's early ass morning for me. Okay. Oh, okay. Let me see how things are there. Sometimes schematics make it really hard to tell what's actually going on around you. That's fun. Like, there's a cave right there, I think. Probably. I don't know. Probably, I don't know. I'm not actually looking. I think I've fallen in it a couple times though, so there's probably one there. But this is otherwise flush with the current terrain here, so. And then I'm not going to bother with the road that goes right here yet, because that's, well, I guess I'll do that. Because that marks the glowstone for this stretch of road that goes all the way this way has done, which is great. Now it means I can go get to work on the road and stuff that goes this way, which Jared Cool has made plans on. Oh yeah, also, actually, after the stream on Sunday, Jared Cool actually did go and start planning the metro network. It's not going to be very big, but then again, it doesn't really need to be. And yeah, it services locations, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it besides that. But yeah, so that was, I guess, successful. Right. There's a solid platform here. Let's see, words, letters, 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 words, words, letters, letters, words. Words, words, letters, 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 words, letters, words, 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 letters, letters, words. Alright, I did all that stuff already, okay. Yeah, I have no idea what else I should be talking about. Anything else really particularly interesting happened this week? Not that I'm too much aware of, at least. Then again, I'm not aware of too much stuff, so... Ah! Big-ass cave in the schematic there. It's even bigger-ass cave in real life. Or on the current server, I guess. Whew. Real life. This ain't real life. This is a video game. Alright. Anyhow. So, oh gosh, oh no. Well, yeah, as I've mentioned already in the stream, it is basically the end of the semester. You know, I can finally say goodbye, good riddance to the classes that I'm currently taking, right? Like calculus, I'll never take another math class again in my life. Goodbye, and I'll probably never use anything I've learned in that class again. Probably not. I mean, it was mostly just integration stuff that I apparently should have learned some of in Calc 1, but didn't because my Calc 1 professor was terrible. But anyhow. That's an entire old story. Does it go up again here? It does, okay. It's like, wait, did I not dig this thing out properly? Oh no, it's just the land around here. Yeah, it's just that around here the land's kind of weird. Ah! Okay, every time I fall in one of these things, it's like, it's so scary, I'm gonna die. That's what it's like anyway. I have no stone. But I do apparently have seeds. To grab some stone! In this giant stone building here. Which, was vaguely inspired by the ideas of the definitely not NSA spying buildings that are owned by AT&T. that are super well distributed around America for their locations. That were, I guess, originally supposed to exist so that like the US phone system could continue to operate if if nuclear bombs went off, as long as they didn't directly hit the actual these specific buildings, which I guess would have been back in the day housing the mechanical switching devices. Because before computers, all the telephone routing was actually mechanical. Like mechanical electrical devices is what was actually responsible for routing your stuff. Now, I don't know exactly how it worked in the touch-tone era, but in the pulse dialing era at least, every time you sent a pulse through the system, it would physically move something like up one level, over one notch, and that's how dialing worked. And you chained a bunch of the machines that did that together. And you got your phone dialing system, which is, I guess, why all these things that had to, or I guess why these things had to happen. And then, obviously at some point, those systems got replaced and upgraded to whatever the heck the touch tone system was, which was a bit more which was probably a bit more digital and a little less analog, I guess, but still definitely required. Oh gosh. Well, still required a lot of space and a lot of devices to actually switch those calls. Then, however, obviously nowadays, nowadays it's obviously a data center that handles all the call routing in America. What data center? Who knows? But it's obviously a server in a data center somewhere that's routing your calls to wherever they're going. Which really shouldn't surprise you at this point. All the calls are just routed over the internet anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Or it doesn't really matter what Uncle Sam wants to protect now. Nowadays, they're just, I mean, okay, these buildings might still house some of the servers responsible for routing these calls. But they also probably house, they'll also, oh, fuck it. I'm out of cobblestone. Glowstone again. They also probably house NSA wiretapping equipment. Because of course they do. Where else would our taxpayer dollars actually go but to the government spying on its own citizens? Fun fact, even though the NSA is technically not allowed, NSA and CIA I guess, and FBI, they're not allowed to spy on American citizens without a warrant because apparently that violates some sort of rights or something, but let's not let some pesky human rights get in the way of us collecting intel on criminals. Nah. Let's just have the British intelligence, let's just give the British intelligence services access to our monitoring equipment, and then we'll pay them in intelligence on British citizens for all the data they collect on American citizens. And that way we don't have to worry about those silly little things called laws that protect the so-called privacy of the American citizens, and we can do our snooping. Should definitely be illegal, but that's what they do. But no one is ever going to stand up and challenge this shit. Well, I mean, no one's serious, at least. I mean, you can go out and yell about it on the streets, but I don't think there's any politician that's actually going to start running and putting this stuff in their platform that, hey, we need to hold the NSA and all these people accountable because they're definitely invading all of our privacies all the time. Actually. Whew. Remember, when I was in elementary school, remind you, this is around the time of like the iPhone 5, iPhone 6. Me and my friends, we would joke about how, oh, look at the new Apple Watch, it's the new NSA spy device that you put on your wrist. Because, you know, it's funny to joke, oh, the NSA, they have backdoors in Apple devices. They can watch everything you do. And I mean, that's at least only half true. Like, Apple does collect all this information on you, and if they receive a warrant, well, it's not end-to-end encrypted, so they can just, if they receive a warrant or subpoena from the government, they're going to hand your data over without question. Now, Apple's slightly better than Google in the case that they don't aggregate this data and sell it to advertisers, but they still do collect and store all this data, which could be made available to law enforcement if it was asked. If they asked for it, at least. Now, mind you, I believe Apple is slightly also better than Google in this, and if they aren't prevented from doing so, and they receive a request from the government for your data or something, they will send you a notification saying, hey, by the way, your data was just given to the government. If you care at all. What the hell? Oh, this is the center of the road. Okay. Obviously, Google doesn't give a shit. It doesn't do that. So, haha. Checkmate myself. Oh, gosh. But hey, it's secure, guys. Remember, guys, it's actually very secure, and you actually like our product. If Uncle Sam comes a-knocking, we must give them everything we have on you. Sorry, but privacy first! But no. They definitely care about your rights and all that sort of stuff. Yes. Does seem sometimes like government agencies kind of go out of their way and probably break some sort of laws by collecting data and stuff on people that don't have warrants. Like, I'm sure this happens. I don't have any concrete proof about what I'm about to say, but I'm sure that it definitely does happen out there, and is definitely it is definitely going to be an issue where the FBI just collects. Oh, frame drops. Okay. The FBI just like collects a bunch of data about people. You know, they collect your text messages. They have it, but then they want to investigate you, but they can't use the data they've collected on you because they don't have a warrant for any of this information. So they get the warrant, and then once they've got the warrant, they then take the data that they've already collected to build their case. Which, in my opinion, that should be illegal, just straight up, because you should only be able to collect data on something after the warrant was issued. You can't collect data, get the warrant that says, okay, I can collect this data, and then continue on. You have to first get the warrant and then collect the data. You shouldn't be just storing potential data on someone without any sort of warrants. And where this kind of comes into play is actually this story I actually heard a while back, and then I heard again recently. So the FBI made this giant honeypot operation. I don't remember what the operation was called. It had the word shield in its name, I think. So there's that. And that tells you so much about it. But basically what they did is they made a whole bunch of secure smartphones that had a fancy calculator app, which is actually an encrypted messaging app that the law enforcement couldn't break or couldn't see or whatever. And so the gangs and the cartels would just message each other with this stuff. They buy these phones from effectively the FBI, but they didn't know it was the FBI, thinking this stuff was all secure, but then all their messages were just being sent directly to the FBI. While I understand that this did happen, and they definitely got a lot of criminals all over the world, actually. They didn't even start in America, I don't think. Started in like Australia or something. They definitely got a lot of data and a lot of incriminating evidence out of this, obviously. My thing is, I don't feel that this was the most lawful of an operation because, again, maybe the terms of service that came up on the phone would have been all bulletproof that they need, and that the data would actually be sent to the FBI, and all the criminals were just too stupid to actually read it. And I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if they had just this long terms of service when you first turned the phone on, like blah 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 message, blah 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 blah, data privacy, blah blah blah. Somewhere it says all your messages will be sent to the FBI, and they had to agree to it. Maybe they used that to get around they had no idea this was happening, and no judge ever authorized this. And obviously, it's probably a good thing that they were able to do that and catch those criminals, but still, it's like kind of a privacy invasion there, don't you think? Where you were able to collect this information that you would usually need a warrant to obtain from some people without any warrant at all. You just collected it and then worried about the legal potential consequences of it later, which doesn't really seem like the most sound way of doing stuff. Okay, this road's finished. Honestly, what? No? Okay. It's kind of like, no, you didn't. Oh, I could have just mined stone from right here. Dang it. Anyhow, but yeah, I guess that happened. I don't know. Sometimes there's no accountability in the government, but yeah, you shouldn't be surprised at this point because, well, that's quite fucking obvious. I mean, just look at all the senators that are trading on the stock market. The minute they get out of a Senate, out of like a closed doors committee hearing. Oh, and hey, the stock price changed significantly after something got announced. Hey, hang on, wait. Was that at all related? Yes, it was related. They're definitely effectively insider trading, apart from they're not an insider on the company, they're an insider on the government who creates the policies that affect these companies. So it's in government trading or something like that. Should be illegal. Isn't. Should be illegal though. That's effectively screwing over the poor Wall Street investors and all the normal people that happen to own stocks, potentially. Screwing them over because you have advanced information about what is going to happen, most likely with these companies. I mean, who gives a shit about the Wall Street investors, right? But it's still an unfair advantage in the stock market, which we don't like. But hey, the people that would ban it are the people that are doing it. So it's not getting banned anytime soon. It's like, do you want to give yourself a raise? Yes! Do you want to give everyone else a raise? Do you want to give the common people a raise? No! That's what politicians are like. And you really can't prove that that's not what the stereotype as a whole is like. Obviously, there are some politicians that are better than others that are like, no, I don't want to. No, the people deserve to have a better quality of life. I'm not going to take a pay raise. I'm not going to vote to give myself a pay raise while all the people that I represent are suffering through crippling economic conditions. There are some like that. Deep minority, though. And we've officially gone through about a shulker box of glowstone now. Whee! Been a while since I've been spending glowstone like this. I have not been AFKing at the witch farm for a while either, just because I've had a lot of glowstone clogging up my chests. Also the guardian farm, I guess. We could start just replacing glowstone in many places with sea lanterns. And it has the same effect, just be... Well, it'd be a lot more effort to craft. But theoretically would be cheaper as... In less than I can get like 5 or 10 shulker boxes of sea lanterns about in less than a whole night of AFKing, versus it takes me like a week to get like 4 shulker boxes of glowstone. The rates are just way on the side of sea lanterns. So I think the roads I'm going to build, the newer roads I'm going to, I guess, build in my area of the city, around my base effectively. I think I'm going to try using sea lanterns for those roads then. So when I build the schematics for my area of the city, I'm going to use sea lanterns as the light source, just because that's going to be significantly cheaper for me. And I also won't have to contest with the rest of the city for the precious resource that is glowstone. Still, with a single witch hut. I mean, I guess I'm a bit spoiled from having a quad witch hut last season, which would just produce absurd quantities of items. Obviously, a single witch hut is going to be significantly slower, so I was spoiled last season. I spoiled myself by choosing a quad witch hut seed, and that didn't happen this season because I wasn't looking for that. Nope, not that block. Right, the road also goes that way a little ways. We are going to not worry about this direction all that much right now. We're going the other direction a little bit. So I don't want to do any major excavation today. I just want to try working on roads. I say that as if I haven't been live for an hour and 7 minutes already. Once we get done with this glowstone, we're not going to be realistically making too much progress. Maybe I'll make some progress on the roads during the week. Well, actually, there is a chance if my episode runs a little bit dry on content, I might. Just because, well, I'm going to have a little bit more free time on my week free time on my hands this week. Because, well, once the tests and stuff are done and I'm no longer in this location, so actually, the episode next week is going to probably see me switch from being in this location, in this echoey space, to the less echoey and different space that is 10 feet from the server. So, that'll be fun. That's good enough for this direction. But yeah, and I'll try to not do what I did last season, which was I'm remembering this now. Like at the very end of last episode, I was like, oh yeah, or last stream, I was like, oh yeah, all right. I was like, oh yeah, that's why I took a long break in the middle of last season, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure the episode. Well, okay, there's a 1 month break, so we'll get 2 to 3 episodes are probably going to come out when I'm not at this location. But I remember the episode that, I think it was 1 episode between being at school and being at home last season. Either 1 episode between, so like 1 episode I was here for the first, I was at school for the first part, home for the second part, and then the very next episode, I was at home for the first part, for the beginning, and then at school by the end. Oh, no, not minding that. That was fun. Fun times. I will at least try to make it 2 episodes fully of me not being in this room where I'm at right now. I'll try. No guarantees, but I'll try. As things get dicey, I get other games and start getting into those. I forget that I'm supposed to be doing stuff here. Or forget other stuff that I'm doing. I don't know. I don't have any absurdly, stupidly large projects that I'm planning anytime soon. That's, I think, what doomed me in season 3 and 5 over the winter time. I got ideas, and then I also just, I guess, will have to be like designing and building out the city once I've got ideas done. Because that is supposedly a part of the plan for this season, is build the whole city, you know, finish it. I mean, I don't care about J.D. Cole's section. My section in downtown is what I care about. Anyone else's section, well, if that doesn't get finished, that's on them. But the sections that I'm directly a part of are things that I want to finish. Although I will say, there are going to be things that I want to try to, personal projects or whatever that I want to work on. Obviously, there's my game. I want to work on that. There's that mod loader that I mentioned. This is a cave. This is a cave. The mod loader that I mentioned last stream, I'm gonna maybe want to work on and finish that. Some other just random projects and things. Play other games, although I will maybe try to do live streams of other games as well. I have some games in my Steam library that I haven't played in ages that might make a good streaming game. I don't know. I'll have to see. Maybe, maybe not. Some games are better than others in streaming, admittedly. I'll see though. Also depends on how long I'm away from my setups over like Christmas, visiting family and whatnot. I mean, okay, it depends on how things fall, but I predict that the week of Christmas, there is not likely to be an episode. Purely because of the chaos with Christmas being a thing that will heavily distract me from doing an episode. Because we obviously got like stuff to do on Christmas Eve for family gatherings. We obviously got Christmas Day itself. Well, I will probably more likely than not actually have some time to record stuff with the chest being all Christmas-like. But then obviously we got, you know, the family Christmas party after in the evening time. And then, you know, going between then and New Year's, there's going to be at some point where I'm visiting other family who live farther away. I don't remember when that's supposed to be, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Because that'll probably factor into that episode. I actually don't know when things fall this year. Like, what day of the week? Anyhow, it doesn't really matter when these things fall. What matters is that there's probably not going to be an episode, unless I'm able to do something really short and quick. Dang, just thinking back to Season 1 now. Remember when we used to, like, actually in Season 1, I don't think we even continued this into Season 2, we tried to do, like, a Christmas celebration on the server. We, like, gave gifts that were kind of terrible, but nonetheless we tried to give gifts to each other and whatnot on the server. I remember that. Big old tree in the shopping area. It wasn't until sometime mid-January, I think, that we actually did the thing. But we tried it. And we kind of did. Like, I built actually, I remember, I built a parkour game that was in a desert somewhere that they had to compete to actually complete. That was an interesting... That was interesting. Okay. I think Jaredy Cool ended up winning that. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah. Haven't done any real Christmas things on the server since then. I don't remember if anything... Actually, I have zero clue what was happening in Season 2 around Christmas time. Yeah, do not remember anything about what happened in winter of Season 2. Yeah. Yeah, no actual clue what happened in the winter of Season 2. That was kind of like a boring ass time. Like, besides the whole Christmas thing, I don't remember anything from the Christmas time for Season 1 either. I do remember, I mean, gosh, that was a while ago. I do remember though what was happening in Season 3 around Christmas time. The ocean perimeter. And I remember that because the episode where I built that, which was one episode from the entire, like, let's build the thing to there's now a giant hole in the middle of the ocean with the farm in it. I believe that was all one singular episode, which was probably a mistake to do it like that. But it was... I remember it released, and I believe that released end of January, I think is when that video ended up releasing. Just to give you an idea how long I was working on that project, there was a clip from Christmas Day in that video with the chests all being presents and all. That was a thing. Season 4. What was I doing in Season 4 around Christmas time? I do not remember if Season 4 had anything interesting going on. It was really, I only remember what happens in the struggles, like the building the industrial rail system, for instance, last season. That was fun. I could go look up what videos released around those times for, like, Season 4 in particular wasn't too eventful, actually. That was a fun one. That season was pretty good, though. I know not a lot happened from Tyler, or really Jaredy Cool, during the Season 3... Or no, during... Oh, obviously Season 3. But during the winter of Season 4, not a lot happened with either of them. Actually, specifically with Tyler, was kind of in a similar situation to this season, actually, by the looks of things. Between August and April, I want to say, when I revisited the project of mapping out the entire server, which, speaking of which, I should do that soon on this server, this season. It is a little late in the season for that. But anyhow, between those two times, me updating the maps, yeah, there was basically no progress at Tyler's base. No visible progress, at least. Which was kind of like, heh, he actually has done nothing this season, hasn't he? So that was cool. Of course, that was them. Still trying to think, did I do anything interesting over the winter? Well, obviously I kept uploading videos. That was... I may have slowed down a little bit, actually. Well, I played some other games, but I was still there. Doing things like, potentially the Ocean Monument Farm. That may have been over Christmas. I'm not entirely sure. You know, screw it. I'm going to try multitasking here. Looking up on my mobile device. Get out of the chat, dang it. Go over to my or my channel. Then scroll back all the way to season 4 and see what I did over the okay, that's season 3. That's a little too far back. Yeah, so it's such a shame that it takes like 2 hands to play Minecraft, right? Scrolling up a bit, scrolling up a bit. Alright, let's see. Damn it, it's just gonna give me years ago. Okay, I got a lot of episodes out quite quickly in Gold Farm, Concrete Converter. Oh wait, no, actually 1.18, right, 1.18 came out really late in the year. That was kind of odd. It came out like December. Okay, those things I just called out happened way before winter then. So that's that is still a cool thumbnail that I made for the 1.18 update. Was episode 20? God damn, even in season 4 I was beating out what I'm doing now. I'm on a good pace this season, but damn. Okay, so besides screwing around in 1.18, I was Guardian Farm was actually one of the things I did. I built a vault, a clock. These things are saying a year ago now. It was a bit closer to, I think, 2 years ago now. Yeah, built the dome on my cylinder, garden farm, a vault, a clock, and all that sort of stuff. Oh wait, shit. Some of these actually had a large gap in it. Some of these I'm recognizing towards the end. Okay, maybe I did have a large gap in Season 4 content at some point. Okay, there's a gap in my memory there. It's like, wait. Oh. Wait, some of these are towards the end of the season. So let's say the Guardian Farm and building a dome on my base. Those are the 2 things I probably did over the winter in Season 4. Yeah, that's worse than I expected. Because we got to 1.18 was like episode 20, and that was, to be fair, that was kind of over the winter. So that was like early December when 1.18 released. I think we probably waited a week or 2 before updating, I think. Yeah, okay. That's a little bit less that's a little bit less episoding than I expected that I was doing all the way back in season 4. Okay, well, I don't know how I got to 20 episodes. Oh, well, actually, I don't know how I got to 20 episodes. Roughly keeping up a once per week episode cadence, as well as starting earlier in the year. Obviously, season 4, I'm realizing, yeah, season 4 started in June. That's why I was able to get 20 episodes out by December. Obviously, we started, I believe... Oh, God, I'm not even remembering when we started this season. August. Late August. That's when we started. I remember now. Yeah, we started this season in late August. So yeah, considering I've gotten, what, 12 episodes out so far, I think I'm doing alright. Considering there was about 12, or about 8 weeks of advanced time, that's for Season 4 comparatively. If I continue with this cadence doing random bullshit, that is a live pig, okay, for once a week for the remainder of the season, hopefully I keep up that cadence, or roughly once a week, I should be able to get a reasonable number of episodes out before the end of the season. Obviously, I don't think I'm going to get 50. I don't understand how I did that in Season 1. I know I sometimes was able to get like 2 episodes out per week, but oh my gosh. How the hell did I make 50 episodes, over 50 episodes? I think it was like 51 total in Season 1. I like actually have no freaking clue how that was possible. Oh yeah. Weird fun fact about Coolcraft Season 1. There is no Episode 1 for Coolcraft Season 1. Which is interesting. And also it's weird, because Coolcraft was originally supposed to be a series JD Cool was doing. And I was like, I'm not going to do this on YouTube or whatever. And then in October I was like, screw it, I'm going to... fuck. That was not my pickaxe. But yeah, then in October I was like, screw it, I'm doing this on YouTube. Because JD Cool hadn't made a video in a while on it. He made like 3 right away. And then that just never turned into anything else. But the reason why, because episode 2 and 3, and then I think I made an episode 3 myself. The reason why episode 1 never got uploaded to YouTube, like it was recorded, is because it was basically just a terrible server tour. That was like an hour long and would have taken a long time to upload. So we just didn't. And, yeah. That is why there was no Coolcraft Season 1, Episode 1. Technically, period. Because I'm not entirely sure if this is the case. But I'm pretty sure that video file doesn't exist anymore anyway. If it does, I don't know how to get at it. Because, from my knowledge, it was on a hard drive, which became the server hard drive, I believe. Wait, which drive is that on? Wait, was that on the hard drive I currently have in my system? If so, there's no fucking chance that that video actually still exists on this thing. Because I was thinking, well, okay, maybe it's on... Because the video would have been on JD Cool's account. Oh, and that's the WAN show, so that means that's going to be the end of the stream, but I want to finish this little story here first. So the video would have been recorded on JD Cool's account. And the first hard drive that I think we were using, that ended up being the service drive. That drive just died because it was in a terrible environment, I think. Then the drive that I currently have in my computer, that was my boot drive for a while, but we used to share the system. So there was a Windows installation on that drive that had 2 accounts on it. Now, when I acquired my SSD, my first SSD, I moved off of that hard drive and onto the SSD, reinstalling Windows on the SSD because the hard drive was a larger capacity than the SSD. And I can't remember if I wiped the hard drive afterwards, because I know I copied a lot of files off of the hard drive onto the SSD, but only from my account. I didn't give a shit about JD Cole's account. Yeah, and then I think I reformatted the drive. I don't know if it was fully erased or what. And that drive is nearing full now. It's part of the reason why I have a new SSD for storing stuff on that drive eventually fills up. So there is a chance. Not a good chance, mind you, because that data has almost certainly been overwritten by now. But there is a chance that video technically still exists on the hard drive I have in my system right now. And that if I used a deleted file recovery software on the drive, I might be able to get it back. Oh, flame drops. But anyhow, I guess I might try that after the stream. Or maybe not. But anyhow, that being said, I'm going to have to say thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe and ring that bell if you want to be notified of future streams like this one. And I will see you all in the next live stream or video. I don't know.